Hello there, everyone. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, it has been forever. All right, let's get you all connected up here. Great. And we're going to share. Let's see. Absolutely. All right. Okay. It's coffee time, career chat time, you guys. I know it has been forever since we've done a live show. But guess what? We're back. Better than ever. Oh, here we go. See, this is how long it's been because I haven't even remembered how to share this. Oh, there we go. There we go. We're going to share it to the group. All right. There. Okay. Now we're ready to go. Hello there, everyone. If you are catching this later or live, whichever, let me reintroduce myself. I am Patricia Hayes. I am an executive advisor, career empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist. And I help professionals, particularly professional women, lawyers, doctors, accountants, entrepreneurs, all of that. Anyone who is interested and up-leveling their lives and their careers in a way that's authentic and with purpose, like that's what I help do, right? And help you to become the best person that you can be in the way that works for you, right? That's that whole authenticity piece. So I'm super excited to be back. Coffee Time Career Chat has been on hiatus for the entire month of July and another little extra week into August. And it was like, it's time to get back in the groove of things. So here we are. If this is your first time, welcome. If you need reminders of how this works, how we've been doing it is on Mondays, the Coffee Time focuses on authentic networking and networking topics. And on Wednesdays, and that comes live, Mondays are live. Wednesdays are pre-recorded and they are career-oriented issues specifically, a lot of times working off of a theme or topic or something like that. And so that's how we're going. The networking right now, this month for August, we're going to be doing some catch up on some various things as far as how things have impacted us over the course of this past year, as well as how we can leverage and utilize that moving forward. And on Wednesdays, we're going to be talking about redefining Superwoman. That topic came to me, oh my goodness, some weeks ago as I'm going through and addressing a bunch of issues. And it's just like, you know what? We need to redefine what people and who people think Superwoman is, because it's not that you can't be a Superwoman, but you don't have to be leaping over, tall buildings and all of that malarkey. So I'm excited about that. So catch that on Wednesdays around the same time. It'll be posted, and or you can always go to the YouTube channel to get any of this. If you don't know how to find me and you're like, I don't know, that's too much, just go to patriciavhayes.com. That's my website, and you can get all things Patricia there, links and connections to all of the social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and as well as more information about the services I provide, the work that I'm doing, and how I'm engaging with you all. So I'm so excited to be back. I really and truly am. It has been very interesting. Let's talk a little bit about building relationships and the power of impact and mentorship. This was not the topic that I intended to speak on today. We will get to that next week. However, this one came to me because I had coffee, or excuse me, it was not coffee because it was afternoon. So I had a happy hour time with two of my dearest colleagues ever. Both of these women worked for me in their capacity as executive assistants, administrative assistants, or whatever their titles were at the time. I call them lifesavers because they were my lifesavers multiple times in multiple positions between the two of them. The interesting part is that they joined together and they met because they got hired on at the agency where I was working. So I had hired one, and I think the other told the other one about it. And so they ended up both working under me or for me at that time. And then as things progressed, I moved, one moved with me, another one moved to someone else that I know, and so it's just been this ongoing relationship. And as things moved on and I moved on to other things and places, they just continued to grow in their skills and their abilities. And when I tell you that it was so awesome, I haven't even told them. I mean, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, Patricia. But these two women they just mean the world to me. And they literally have the skills that any person needs to be successful in their careers and in their lives, regardless of where you start. Because we talked about this when we met up, that, one of the ladies in particular, had been being told, I think both at one point in time, like, oh, you're, that's a waste of your time, or what makes you think that you can achieve at that level. And I know that I always tried to make sure I was supportive, but I did not know the impact that I was having on them. And they wanted to meet up because we realized we had not talked in so long, and the pandemic only worsened that. And so we were just like, look, we're going to try and get together and connect, because we haven't, and we knew it was time. And it was so powerful because they shared with me that, Patricia, number one, we just needed to see you. And number two, we needed to tell you thank you for how much you've impacted our lives and all of the things that you've taught us along the way. I mean, literally, y'all, they had me almost in tears by the time it was over, genuinely, because I wasn't expecting it and I didn't see that coming. But then we just started sharing, some of those crazy experiences we worked through professionally, while also dealing with personal issues and all of these things. But it boiled down to, they were like, we need for you to know that we're the women we are in the positions we're in now because of what we learned from you, from watching you, from taking direction from you. And that just blew me away. It truly blew me away. Because this has been, oh my gosh, I think the last time one of us worked together was, I think it's 11 years now, 11 years. So 11 plus more of years. So probably 15 years since we all worked together, and then have kind of scattered, but they have remained the closest of friends, which makes my heart so happy. But to hear them say, we need for you to know how you mentored us when you didn't even realize it. And that struck me, and it stuck with me through the entire weekend. And thus we came to this topic today. Because here's the thing. As you're moving along throughout your life, throughout your career, you have to realize and remember that you are impacting people along the way in ways you have no idea. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. We want more of the good versus the not so good, right? But people are watching you. People are learning from you. The question is, what are they learning from you? If you are intent on making sure that you provide the strongest, the healthiest, the amount of support that people that you work with need on a day-to-day basis, it really and truly focuses in on how you are building out those relationships all along. This is not a one and done. This is 11, 15 years later, both of them are in incredible leadership positions that 15 years ago, neither one of them would have been able to, if you had told them they would be in the positions they're in now, they would have laughed in your face. I know them. They would have laughed, cackling, rolling on the ground. But here they are. Here they are, strong, empowered, confident, knowing that, regardless of what comes to us, we know that we can handle it because we've been trained by the best. We've been watching one of the best. That's not me praising myself. Those are their words. And that's the power that we have. When you're building out your relationships, whether they're with your employees who become friends, or with your colleagues, your peers, or with those, let's say it's a boss that someone you report to. When you are building out those relationships every single day, even now, in the back of your mind, we really and truly need to remember that the impact that we are having is not just for today, it's for years to come that we don't even know or see yet. And if we are so blessed, in future times, someone will come back and let you know. I call it, anyone who knows kind of in the faith community, they'll say, it's about giving your flowers to someone while they yet live, right? Not waiting till someone's passed on or left to say how much they meant to them. And I truly felt like I was getting a flowers moment this weekend, and it touched me so much. It also helped to kind of build me back up, because I had a rough week last week. It's still been a little rough, little weird things popping up, not necessarily unusual, but just kind of old things popping back up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of dealing with that. Can we move on? But here's this little gift tied up in a beautiful bow from this weekend, where there was a reminder of why I do what I do. Why I help other people to learn how to build out their relationships so that 5, 10, 15 years later, they can have people coming back and say, hey, here's how you've impacted me. Hey, I know someone who can help this with this project because I've seen them live and in person. I've had a number of these type of situations over the course of the last few months. And I've mentioned one or two of them before, but this one is the one that just totally blew me away, because it was unexpected. The others were unexpected as well, but it was from someone who wanted to sit down and take the time to actually say, hey, here's where we are, and we're here because of what we watched you do over the years, how you were mentoring us even when you didn't realize it, and how to handle ourselves professionally, how to interact with obnoxious people in the workplace, how to handle difficult situations. And so here's a couple of lessons that I've noted that I wanted to share regarding that. The first one is, your current actions have an impact that you cannot yet see. And I've said this already. And this is so important. And it may seem trite because people say this all the time. But in the context of who you're impacting in your network, think about it. It doesn't have to be 500 people. It doesn't even have to be 50 people. It could be 5. What's the impact that you're having on 5 people in your network? If you take a little moment to sit back and think about it, who has reached out to you in recent years to say, hey, thanks for helping me with that project. I didn't know what I was going to do without you, right? Or how I could have made it through. Or someone else coming back and say, you know what? I really respect the work you've done. I want to recommend you for X project. Those are the moments, those are the golden nuggets where you can see that not just that your current actions for today, but the actions of years and times previous are coming forward. And that how we can just continue to build that momentum. Because here's the thing, when you're doing that, you're building those relationships. And as you're building those relationships, you're building up trust. You're building up a foundation that no one can shake for years to come, because they don't even know that you've got this fan club that's willing to root for you at any given moment. And we all need that. We all need that. Trust you me. We've all had experiences where we really need to come to terms with certain situations, and we need to reach back and say, I need to get some help from someone. And you think about a few people, and then they're like, yeah, let's go. What are you talking about? Let's make this happen. Okay? So how are you giving? What are you giving right now today that's going to provide an impact to someone that you may or may not see immediately or down the road, but it is going to provide an impact? Because are we dipping into leadership and networking pretty much here? Probably. We probably really are, right? A little leadership, talking about mentorship, talking about the impact that you're having on people that you work with, that you live with, that you engage with on a daily basis. But in any case, they are a part of your world. They're a part of your network. What are you doing to help make sure that your current actions are having an impact that's worth talking about in the future? All right? That's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2. We have to make sure that we stay the course even in difficult times or down times. This is one of the hardest things, because I know that there are a couple of different situations that I dealt with both ladies professionally. We were just in some really tight spots in the work that we were doing, and one in particular, and I just remember just my heart being broken because, we were dealing with these situations, totally political. I mean, hello, I worked in a political world, and my goal was, you know what? I know that I can deal with this, but I hope that she can. And guess what? All these years later, not only did she deal with it, like she kicked that door down and bust through it, and it was like, you know what? That is a lesson that I can lean into and take with me to become not just a better person, but a leader in my community, a leader in my workplace in ways that I never even imagined. But you have to be willing to stay the course, not to abandon your people when the times get tough. Let's be honest here, because, I've been abandoned. I know some people who've been abandoned in the midst of a really difficult professional situation. All hell is breaking loose at the office, office politics are taking over, whatever, all kinds of things like that. And people will jump ship in a hot minute. I'm not talking about just leaving the job, because you know what? A lot of times that needs to happen, right? In order to move on, in order to grow. But I'm talking about leaving people behind emotionally, not just physically, by not providing them the support in order for them to move forward through this situation as well. Guess what? When you are talking about making an impact in your network with the relationships that you build, that support that you provide to people over time is something that it has no dollar value. You cannot put a dollar value on that. That is the thing that people will remember for years to come. How you responded, how you supported your network, or how you abandoned them in key times. This is legacy building stuff right here, y'all. Legacy building. Not this, we all make mistakes, right? We can make mistakes, whatever. But I'm talking about at your core. What's your core beliefs? Remember when we were talking about the people I like to work with? It's about being authentic. It's about working with purpose, right? And when you're doing that, how are you impacting your people? How are you impacting the people around you? Is it come down to, you know what? It's my way or the highway, or I'm just done, and you just leave everyone behind? Because guess what? People remember that. So when you need something 5 years down the road, they're not going to be jumping to answer your phone call because you left them behind. Again, not physically, but emotionally. So let's say I work with a lot of people who transition often. Okay, they come to me because they're in their midst of a transition and they need help, through it, or how to address the issues or concerns that are coming up in the midst of the transition. That's what I specialize in. But here's the thing. One of the things I will make sure and tell people is like, don't burn bridges unless you really truly know you will never cross that bridge again. Even with the most difficult people. And I tell people all the time, I could probably still count on one hand the number of people that I was like, I'm absolutely willing to burn that bridge. You do not have to worry. I am not crossing it again. And for those ones where I can name them and I can think and see people's faces and names right now in my head, but it came down to a core values issue. That is why I decided I'm willing to burn that bridge. So I'm always advising people to be very strategic about that, because you really and truly do not know how you come across, how you can help people, and how the people come back to you. It was so funny. So one of the ladies, when we were talking, she mentioned this about how there was someone that when we worked together, I didn't even know she had difficulties with them. So it shows how she was managing well on her own, because she never came to me to fix the situation. So she managed this person on her own. But he had been really obnoxious to her, looked down on her, treated her, really poorly. And I knew this person. So when she said it, I really wasn't surprised, because, I had similar situations and we were not, peers. And, but that now, here we are moving forward. She is in this leadership role, and this person is having to come to her to address some issues. And she's like, hello, how are ya? And it is so funny to remember things circle back around. How are you handling yourself now so that in the future you can still walk tall with your head high? Because no matter how poorly someone else treats you, if you did not reciprocate that behavior, I'm not saying you have to deal with it. Absolutely. We can always talk about strategies about managing, nasty people. But it's how you handle it, how you manage it, and how you represent yourself professionally and personally, so that you're impacting the people who are watching you. You're impacting the people in your network even then. It's so, so powerful. All right, let's see. I got a question or a comment. Kristen says, love this. Can't get focused on the idea that I have to, that I have to build my network and forget about just nurturing the people who are already in it. Yes, Kristen. It's so funny because that's that piece. So a little caveat here. And this is a topic that I talk about a lot in other situations, but it is so important. We focus so much on getting to the next thing that people forget about the folks you already have. Sometimes the relationships you need to build are not with the next level. It's with who you already have. Because who you already have can absolutely take you to the next level people. Wow. How powerful is that? The folks that people are, quote, looking down on, or they're like, no worries. No, I caught the gist of it, Kristen. But the power is in making sure you nurture the folks you already have. Because if you don't, guess what? You can be moving on and trying to get to that next level person and being like, okay, and then they can have a sense of abandonment. And they will pull back. So when you do reach back out to someone, they're kind of standoffish, you'll be like, well, what happened? Well, more than likely, sometimes that happens where they felt like you just kind of took off and kind of forgot about them. And they're like, so what happened? And that trust is broken, right? So moving forward and building, continuing to create, let me use these words carefully, create new relationships does not mean that you abandon the ones that you have. It may mean there's a shift, but it also may mean that there becomes some depth to the relationships you already have. That again, you never know. Other people's networks are can be just as expansive, and the thing you're trying to build to next may already exist with the people you have. Okay, so thanks, Kristen, for weighing in on that, because it is a very valid and very true point, and absolutely relates here. Okay, so that was lesson number 2. Lesson number 3, your actions will be a model for others to follow for years to come. I got ahead of myself. I told it all before I even said all the lessons, but this is another lesson, and it's a reminder. And those lessons and that coming forward shows up in the most unexpected times with unexpected people. I've had people who referred to me. It's like, oh, this is my, my public speaking mentor or whatever. And I was like, I am. I honestly did not know that, right? But it's the legacy that you're leaving behind as you continue to build, because you're bringing others along and you don't even realize it. That is a powerful relationship building tool. That is a powerful network that you're building. Okay? When you have that impact on people, when they are looking up to you for, examples or modeling things. They don't even have to reach out to you. But this is that thing about people are watching. So how are you engaging? How are you building out your network? How are you nurturing them? So that people can continue to learn. And guess what? You learn as well. I just learned a whole lot this weekend and got a terrific boost in the process. It was absolutely something that I totally looked forward to and looking and being more conscientious of moving forward, right? It was one of those reflection points that, I'm going to be much more aware of and reminded of and engaging in, so that as I'm continuing to help people who are trying to make whatever changes that they want to make as they're moving forward, to help remind them, hey, there's a leadership component here, and one that you need to be aware of, regardless of your titles. Y'all know how I preach about leadership does not require a title. I have a whole series on that. Leadership does not require a title. All right? There are so many things you can get done because leadership can occur at any level. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about how you present yourself. It's about how you engage with others where you are. And that those people are then willing to be influenced by what you provide and to be inspired or motivated to take action as a result. That doesn't require a title. It requires commitment, a self-awareness, and a willingness to move forward accordingly. So that's what I have. That is what I have. All right, so I see a few folks on. If you have some questions, I'm totally open to any. It doesn't have to be related to today's topic. So if you have a question about networking and building out relationships, I'm happy to respond. So if you have something, drop it in the chat, and I will check in with you. So while I'm waiting and responding to that, sip of coffee, because it is coffee time, yes? But a couple of things I want to remind people of, which is, can you believe it is the end of the summer? It is August. So we are fast approaching the fall and this whole, kind of mindset we have in our country in the U.S. about, getting ready to plan for the next year. And so you all know that I'm very much, you can make a change right now today. You don't have to wait till January 2022, right? So I don't fall into that, but I do recognize when people are kind of, being shaped by what's going on around us. And so I want to make sure that you are ready and able to move forward, to start making those shifts, to start making those changes that you may desire for you personally and professionally. So I have some career intensives that are available. I think I've made 5 slots available in the next during this month. So if you're interested in that, just DM me or email me and say that you're interested, so we can get some time on the schedule and we can do a quick 20-minute consult, figure out what your needs are, and then move forward. And then there's some other things we're working through with new opportunities with a new 12-month program for high-level professional women. I'm super excited about that, as well as building out the work with the networking, which is a part of that program that's targeted to professional women. But also there's this work that I continue to do with professional networking, building out your relationships and really targeted in. And that work, that program is just focused on that. So if you are interested in any of those things, just reach out to me and let me know. All right, so I've got a comment or question, and it's, what's your favorite way to build connections with newsletters or blogs or other writing? That's my sweet spot. Oh my goodness. You know what? You must know that I have been like challenging myself with this, because that's one of my things I'm trying to get back to, is being consistent with my writing, with my blog. I have a whole book project that I'm supposed to be working on, and then getting part of the blogging is getting ready back to it. And really, I think that the best way, or I won't say the best way, but one of the most effective ways is, because a lot of times people don't do this, right? You know, are people reading their emails? Are they, and people, you know, there are folks who will say, oh, blogging is worthless. Others will say, oh my gosh, no, you have to do it. Here's the thing. It's not even about whether it's an effective strategy or not, because it is an effective strategy. It just depends on whether it's an effective strategy for you. And you saying, Kristen, that it's that's your sweet spot. Well, that's even makes it even more effective, right? Because people are willing to listen to those and utilize the voice from which you speak, right? And so for someone who is not into it, who is not a good writer, who does, maybe they're better on video, but putting things in words, excuse me, is not the thing for them. Well, it's going to come across inauthentic, and it's going to come across, and it's going to be ineffective, and they're going to be like, see, I told you it wouldn't work. But that's because that's not authentic for them. That's not the space for them. For someone that's their thing and where they really need to be able to share their voice, then I think that it can be effective, and it is in the context of doing it and being consistent. Now, that's my personal challenge. I'll be honest, because I have a lot of things going on, but I've also felt like, you know what, I really need to get back to being more consistent on that, because there are a lot of things rolling around in my head or notes that I'm keeping, and I'm like, it's not for me. That's the thing that makes it so powerful is, and my coach has said this and other folks, where we don't share our greatness and the things that come to us as we should. And that's problematic, because a lot of the things that we experience are not for us. They are meant to be shared with others, to impact them, to upbuild them, to help them become the next level person. So if blogging is that way, then do it and just be consistent about it. Right? Consistent doesn't mean, oh my gosh, if I miss a week, everything's gonna fall apart. No, it's about being committed. It's that making that commitment to it, and to engage and to share, and that way you will build the audience. And the rest of it is the mechanics, right? Do you share it in a newsletter? Do you share it on LinkedIn? Do you share it as a post? That's all mechanics. Right? That's just mechanics. It's about how do you connect with your people. And if writing is that way, and writing in a blog format is that way, then blog and then just share it out everywhere. And then you can, and now we're getting into some marketing strategy thing, which is not my specialty, but it is a thing I spend a lot of time on, which is then you can utilize those things in lots of different ways as you break up the little pieces, and then you can reshare back out in the world. So I will give you a little tip. One of the things I do is after coffee time, at CoffeeTime Career Chats, I will then take those things, take my notes, and then I'll just do a 2-minute career tip off of what I talked about. And I will post those short little videos. They're probably not even 2 minutes. They're normally between like a minute and 2 minutes. And I will then just use those and put them out there, right? So it's reusing the same content and giving people a hint. Hey, if you missed Coffee Time, here's what we were talking about. You might want to go check it out. Okay? So it's really about, not just finding your voice, but using it consistently. That's my thing. I'm going to have a mug made that says use your voice, because I love Michelle Obama's Find Your Voice. And now I need one that says Patricia Hayes and it says use your voice. That's really the focus there. I hope that answered your question, Kristen. Was that good? Let me hear from you. So that is, I think that's it. That's what I have. Unless there's another question out there. But if you have any questions, anything you want to, chat with me about, I'm happy to schedule yay, she liked that. All right, to schedule a connect call, to schedule a consultation. Make sure and share this out, because I got to get people back in the, things are going so fast, especially as we're going into this hybrid work situation when people are, working, still working at home versus going back into the office and all of this. And it gets a little crazy. And I think I'm going to do a little piece about that as well. But the point is just to remember that Coffee Time is back, that if you will share it out with people and then put it on their calendar so that, they're always recorded. They're going to be available as usual, either on this page as well as on the YouTube channel always. So even if they, for some reason can't find it on Facebook, just go to my website and the YouTube channel, and you will always be able to find it, along with all of the other ones from this year. So thank you, everyone, for today. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to re-engaging. Take care. Have a fantastic week. All right? Bye-bye.